Hello, everyone. It's Pat with our Oracle card reading and messages for this upcoming week, the 17th to the 23rd of March. Happy St. Patty's Day to you. I hope you're having a nice little celebration wherever you are. Anyways, I'm going to be calling upon our usual cards for this week. The Angel Oracle cards, the Archangel Oracle cards, see what Archangels are working for us with this week. And I haven't decided on the other deck yet. I brought out a few to pick from. But you know what was interesting is as I was gathering my cards up, I came across Doreen's book, The Archangels and Ascended Masters. And I said, I'm just going to do a little like divination to see what master or divinity or angel wanted to send a message to us. And I'm sure that Doreen would at this point now consider this to be blasphemous. So if you are following her, just know that, because she had in the past year denounced this book that she had written. But I thought it was very interesting what I opened up to, because it's very pertinent for now. So a lot's going on in our world. A lot of things are coming to light. And obviously there's been a lot of sadness too. And my love and my sympathies go out to the people of New Zealand. And there's a lot of things coming to light. Back a few months ago, I spoke about the full moons, the super full moons, how they bring things to light, even like 30 days, 60 days out. Those super full moons and the eclipses and stuff are very powerful, and they have far-reaching effects. So we see stuff coming to light like this, college admissions scandal that's, really going to have very far-reaching effects, I think. We're also still in Mercury retrograde. So, it's things that are being brought up for review. I just saw an article about this whole census thing in the United States, and the question that they want to put on the census. So things are being reviewed because certain practices, certain things that lawmakers have tried to put forward are being called into question. So we're in a time right now of big change. Our consciousness is changing. There's a lot of things that need to be reviewed in our own, it's happening in our personal world, but in the world at large. Pardon me. So I know from the bigger perspective, when I reach out to the angels, it's to pray for peace and to meditate on peace, to help us as a world family get through this time. Okay, pray for our country, et cetera, and our children. And that's what happened when I called upon this book and used it as a divination tool, which is I asked, and opened. And the master that I opened to was Mother Mary. And Mary, the beloved mother, which is perfect because it's our children who are being affected. This is going to affect their lives down the road. And, it is already causing them to call into question the integrity of the adults that are leading the world. Okay. So, but what I thought was interesting about what she wrote, what Doreen wrote in this book, is that Mary, she's been called the Queen of the Angels. And she's among the most loving, patient, and kind of the Ascended Masters. But yet behind her gentleness, there's a very firm mother bear who lovingly warns us to shape up. So, it really does speak to Mary helps the children. And it doesn't matter what spiritual background you're from. Mary's known in Catholicism to be, Mother Mary, Saint Mary, what have you. But, she was a Jewish mother. So there's, I don't claim to be an expert on all spiritual backgrounds and things like that, but Mary is well known, and she's an ideal one to call upon at this time for her combination of loving gentleness and empathy, but also that very firm mother bear that puts her foot down to say, we really need to think about how we're taking care of our children for future generations. Okay. So anyways, Mother Mary is working with us at this time, and is someone definitely to be called upon. And I know there's lots and lots of people who really are aligned with Mother Mary and connect to her energy and are praying to her for help at this time. And part of the way the help comes sometimes is by things getting revealed. We can't, you can't heal, you can't change things until you see, what's going on that's wrong, that's causing the problem. That's true of your own body. You can't heal your body until you know what the real problem is. If you're going to clean your house, you're going to be able to see the dirt and to know where you got to clean up. So anyways, so I went ahead and picked some Archangel cards ahead of time for us, in the interest of time. So the Archangel cards that came out for us this week are Beloved One, with Archangel Chamuel, and Archangel Ariel with the message of courage. So, Chamuel is an angel of peace. Chamuel helps us with our relationships. It is, in one sense, yes, about if you're looking for a romantic soulmate partnership of some kind, he can help you with that. But, it's also about our beloved ones, about our children, about our family, our beloved ones. The people in our lives that we hold most dear. And, Chamuel's here to help us with that, as well as the process of peace. And in the message in this, it's a reminder from Chamuel that love is all around you. You don't have to search for it. Holding loving thoughts and loving actions. It starts from within and then radiates without. So we also have here, and it's the embodiment of what Mother Mary is telling us too, these two cards. It's about, being loving and kind and empathetic. Empathy can disarm, or you can disarm really angry actions sometimes with empathy. But you also have to have courage, the courage of your convictions, the courage to speak to the truth. And, to put your foot down and have boundaries and things like that. Ariel's message is be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. So, a lot of people, this is going to cause a lot of people, it already has started to come forward and demand equal treatment. Okay. It's going to be so far reaching. Is my sense of it. This whole college admission thing, it's going to have very far-reaching consequences on many levels, and people are going to be demanding. They're going to be putting their foot down, saying, "This, enough is enough." So Ariel's with us. Ariel's in some ways, she's kind of like a female Archangel Michael. She gives us courage, but she's very connected to nature, and you'll see the lion in the background, the lionesses. It's definitely, people see, when they call on Ariel, they see a lot of lionesses around, or images of lionesses. So she has the courage of the lion, and very graceful like movements like that. So she's, Ariel also helps us to get connected to our material supply and material wealth. So anyways, there's lots going on this week with this theme of being loving, but yet having courage. That song, there's an older song that's coming to mind right now. It used to be, it was called, "You Got to Be Cruel to Be Kind in the Right Measure." And it's about sometimes having to say what needs to be said. Even if it means that it's going to be hard for people to hear. Okay. So anyways, Ariel and Chamuel overseeing us this week. Now let's move on to see who else is, what the messages are. So going into this week, I pulled from, since Mother Mary's who came out in the book when I opened it, I decided to pull a couple from, shuffle the deck and see what came out of us for a message, more specific message from her. And sure enough, the cards that flipped out were action, that came out first, and children. So action says, today I take action related to the priorities I've previously put off. And the children message says, my heart is filled with love for children, which creates miracles and positive change for them and for me. So yeah, I mean, I think this speaks both to the world at large, and it may be true for you personally as well, that it's time to get into action. Okay, it's time to, as we say, get your butt in gear and stop stop procrastinating, stop putting off. It's time to rally ourselves with action related to our children. On a personal level, it just may mean that you have, things to attend to with them, that you have to make them the priority this week, and look into things or get going on things related to them that you may have just been temporarily putting off, that need to be taken care of. And obviously this is about them, both your own if you have them, and in the world at large. Okay, both the children that are being held down by the border, or the children who are looking at this whole college admissions thing that is being all over the news. I don't doubt that there's going to be more stories that come up in the news regarding children, in the coming weeks. Okay, and it's really about reorienting some of our priorities. And as I heard someone say in one of the things I was watching, redefining what we consider to be achievement in this country. Okay, and looking at what we can do to support our children in a balanced way. Okay, so a lot going on. I think the children themselves are going to get into action. Okay, you might find that this reinvigorates the children who are speaking out so loudly with regard to the school shootings in Florida. You may see them come back into the media again, speaking out. They're getting charged up, and they're ready to take action and be heard. So anyways, that's what I get from those two cards. Right, so a final card that I'm pulling for this week is coming from the Goddess card. I felt guided to this deck. And as I was shuffling, the card that popped out was Kali. And Kali, it's about endings and beginnings. All right, and it says the old must be released so that the new can enter. All right, so this is going on, and obviously this alludes to what I was speaking to earlier. We're kind of, in Mercury retrograde, we're reevaluating a lot of stuff in our life and looking at what no longer serves us. Okay, in a very simple way, you might just be letting go of, going through your house, decluttering, and letting go of stuff that that you don't use anymore, that somebody else could benefit from. But I get a sense that this, is really deeper in a lot of ways for us personally and in the world at large. I mean, we're kind of re-evaluating how we operate in our life and our world. You might be looking at your diet, your health, the way you operate in your world, and saying, you know what, it's time for this to be done. It's time for this to come to an end. Okay, and you need to let go of the old, whether it's an old way of thinking, an old habit, and just an old way of being in the world. It's time to let go of it, and so that the new can come in. All right, and you can start by letting go mentally first, and then the physical kind of follows on the heels of that. But Kali is also considered a goddess of nature, and very powerful endings and beginnings can come about um, through her help. Yeah. So I get the sense of don't be disheartened by um, things coming to an end or a loss of something, because it means there's a new beginning around the corner. So have faith and trust and hope in that. Okay. Um, anyways, these are our messages for this week. It's a little bit, kind of here and there this week. It messages came through differently, but um, I hope it resonates with you, and I look forward to speaking with you again very soon. Take care, everyone.